In today's session, we are going to talk about the Metaverse versus GameFi. In this live session, we will explore the similarities and differences between the two distinct virtual worlds of the Metaverse and GameFi. I'm very delighted to introduce today's guest speaker, Nicolas Choukroun, founder and CEO of Meta Island. Nico, how are you today?
I'm great.
Yes.
Thank you to do this podcast with me.
Yes, thank you, Nico. Nico is joining us live from Thailand today. So let me start by introducing him. Nico is the CEO and founder of Meta Island, one of the first open world metaverse GameFi project of this generation. Nico has been a musician and programmer since he was 10 years old. He is a self-learner in all domains of creativity and game development. Through his 30 years of experience, he has worked with companies including Ubisoft, Lancor, Cryo Interactive, Fox, and Mindscape. He worked in collaboration with Electronic Arts and as a game designer or producer for Tengen, Sega, TSR Dungeon & Dragon, and Brother Bond. He has notable worldwide coverage for games like Aliens, a comic book adventure, front page of PC Games, US and UK, and primetime TV interviews with TF1 and TV5 French TV channels. Tell us the story of your 3 decades of experience in the gaming industry. How did you transition to Web3 and GameFi?
Oh, I'm a veteran game developer, actually. I started doing gaming when I was a teenager, and I sold my first project. I was 18 to Lancor. Then I worked with Ubisoft. I moved to Paris. I made 5 games with Ubisoft. I hired Michel Ancel, who did Rayman and King Kong, etc. And then I moved to the internet in the 2000s. I sold a big website on the internet, and then I did audio in the audio industry, like the VST stuff, the audio virtualization. Then I did a lot of assets for Unity and Unreal Engine. So I continued to programming. And when in 2017, when the first ICO came, I was very interested, and I participated, and I thought, okay, I need to learn Solidity. So I did several Solidity contracts, and then I thought, okay, I'm gonna make my own blockchain. So with Jean-Martial Lefranc, my partner at this time, we did the CryptoFranc, and I did all the wallet, Unix, PC, Mac, and the Stratum server, the mining pool, everything. So I learned very well how crypto is working. And I wanted to do, for a long time, I wanted to go back to the gaming industry, doing a game I had in my head. And I thought, okay, blockchain and gaming should be something that's very hard to do. So I started before GameFi exists and before Metaverse and people talk about that. I started to create my own game using all these experience together. And last year, I contacted investors, and now I am financed by SL2 Capital and DAO Maker, and I have a team of 15 people developing the game, plus 5 or 6 people, maybe 10 people from my incubator, my accelerator. So everything is doing well.
Oh, that's great. So tell us about your current project now.
Well, Meta Island is a real metaverse. If you want, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, I'm doing a metaverse." The thing is that metaverse and GameFi is very different in many different ways. So yeah, Meta Island is a metaverse, and I discovered it because at the beginning, when I was looking for investors, I could not explain exactly what the game was, because they were asking me what is the game, what is the storytelling. They were thinking like a normal game, you know. And I could not explain, because for me a metaverse is not something that is linear. It's like an open sandbox where adults can play together. And so it's a very different concept than a game, what you're doing in game industry or even in GameFi.
Okay, we have a question very specific for that. After this one, first, I want to ask you, because the gaming industry is currently worth billions of dollars, and you can give me the exact figure because you are in the industry. But what is the current state of GameFi today, if you can tell everyone in the audience?
What is happening is the game industry is well established, but it's split into, there is the mobile industry and there is the PC console industry. They are both worth 38 billion a year. But there are two different markets. GameFi is mostly targeted to the mobile sector. I don't know any other game than my game, my Metaverse. I don't like to say game because it's a different thing. That is targeting PC and console. So the GameFi industry actually is burgeoning. It's at the very beginning because if you want the gaming industry is not going to move to GameFi easily. Their business model is very different. When you're doing a normal game, I would say, you are produced by a company that has a 20,000 salaried. So you have to feed these people with the money you make with the game. And most of the authors, the founders, they are salaried and they have a good salary and they can have some bonuses. But it's been 10, 20 years they are in this industry. They are not going to drop everything and say, okay, we go to the GameFi industry. The GameFi industry is very different from the gaming industry. First, when you buy a game, you're losing your money. That's the normal thing. You buy entertainment and you get entertainment in return, your money is lost. When in the GameFi industry, it's a totally different business model. You are investing in a project, the money goes directly to the founders, no middlemen. So we get more money actually from the project. But you're investing, that means you can get your investment back. You can lose it, but whatever. In a game, you're gonna lose it anyway. But in a GameFi product, you can make more money. Maybe you're not gonna be rich, but you will make some money. And it's a different business model that is, I think, superior to the classic business model. It gives more money to the founder. Like Bitcoin, remove the banks. The trust is between the player and the founder. So I think GameFi is superior product, and it will attract the players slowly but surely. And at one point there will be a problem in the game industry because they have so much cost that if they lose a little bit market share, they may go in the red. And the founders from the GameFi industry will have so much money that they will have the choice: either they let the game industry collapse, or they buy them. We will see what's happening.
So GameFi is, I've read this somewhere that it's something that is going to help in the mass adoption of digital assets in the future, because you have so many how many the statistics, millions or even millions of gamers in the world, and they are already in that metaverse environment.
There are more than 1 billion.
Yes, sorry, it's a billion. Yeah. The figure is billion, yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of gamers. So, but the GameFi is really oriented gaming. That means that's this market, this 38 billion market that's going to be eaten by GameFi. But Metaverse is a totally different animal, I would say.
Yes.
If you read what the people say about Metaverse, like the city or Morgan Stanley, they say in 10 years it's going to be like 11 trillion dollar market.
Yeah, the market, yes, so the predicted market is really big.
So it's very different actually. Even if people, they like to mix together because they try to make money, there is a lot of greed. And there are a lot of people who want to make their project a metaverse because, for example, they are selling VR sets and they are not selling them right. So they just say, metaverse is about VR, so you need to buy a VR set. Actually, you don't need a VR set to play GameFi or metaverse.
Yes, definitely. And that will lead us to the next question, wherein I'm going to ask you the similarities and differences of Metaverse and GameFi and how they are related to each other. You started with the VR, like many misconceptions. People relate Metaverse to a VR, but yeah, not necessarily because Metaverse can be 2D, 2.5D, 3D, and you don't even need a VR headset for such. So please enlighten the audience on that.
Well, I already explained a little bit about GameFi. What is a GameFi game?
Yes.
A GameFi game is a game with DeFi inside. So, but a GameFi games by its design, it has a short-term. It's a short-term experience. The way a GameFi works is like a parable. You try to reach the players. The players are interested into the game. They start investing. The interest goes up. A lot of people are playing with it. They are buying NFTs, etc., etc. Then, like any other game, you get bored. You play enough. You want to go to another thing, so that people start to sell. Then that's the time for selling. Then the game gonna go down and disappear. It's a short-term entertainment. With all the things I said, like you use the wallet, because the thing with the GameFi and the classic industry is that these people, they are making money by owning the player. They own the player and they rent the game. You can see in Steam, you don't own your player. You can be erased one day because you say something stupid, you're drunk, boom, they close your account and you lose everything.
Yes.
You cannot do that with NFTs. So I think it's a super product, but it's the same kind of product. Metaverse is different because, as I said, it's a huge market because it is going to be played on the television. Actually, GameFi is going after gaming. Metaverse is going after television, and that's the big thing.
Interesting.
You can see that people they look television less and less and less because there's so much bullshit in the television, so much negativity, so much problems. Always. I mean, television makes you sick. So the Metaverse are coming here to say, okay, we are a virtual world. We are like the real world, but we offer a different economy and a different social system, and then a social networking as well. So it's a lot more. Of course, there is gamification because otherwise it will be boring. But all together, it's a lot more complex than to do a GameFi game. First, you need to have an economy that is sustainable in a long time. Because if you want to mimic what the reality is in the virtuality, you need to have an economy that's like, for example, people are buying stuff in the shop, they are eating, they are buying weapons, I don't know. Depends on what metaverse you are playing, you will have a lot of things to buy. There is an economy inside. Second, you need to have a social network, no, a social system, not social network, but a social relationship with other players. Like, for example, are you going to be useful to this metaverse so that people recognize you as someone they like? It's like a role-playing game, you know. When you play a role-playing game, you have a character, you develop your character, and then it's become part of yourself in virtuality. So I think in the future, people will have several lives. They will have the real life. Maybe they work in the real life, and they will have the virtual life in this metaverse, and they will develop their character, and maybe they're going to work in the virtual world. Just that, because it will be possible to have a job and stuff like this. So you need to have a social system. In Meta Island, we decided to limit the number of players to 1,000. So we are not making you a number in millions of players. We are making you someone with 1,000 people. It's like a village. So if you do something, like in a role player game, people are gonna remember you. If you're useful because you have specific set of NFTs, you can fight better, you can help the island to be profitable, then people gonna want you to come back, and you will be attracted to go back because you have this social presence and you're existing in the metaverse. And another thing, Metaverse need to have a team. They need to have a story around. For example, there will be Metaverse for I don't know, Lord of the Ring, Alien, Zelda, Fortnite, because there is a universe around it. So people will say, okay, do I want to live in this universe, because they're gonna have to pay. And last, in order to have an economy that is sustainable in the long term, you need to have cash coming in, which is not what GameFi is doing. GameFi is mainly using only wallet and tokens, so that the tokens are depleted after a while. The Metaverse, they need to have cash coming in, otherwise you cannot have a sustainable economy on the long term. You have to buy back your tokens one way or another, and that means you need to have cash. That's why Meta Island is based on a subscription. You can pay the subscription with your wallet, but you can pay also with your credit card. Then this cash, we can use it to control a little bit so that the economy is sustainable. Whales cannot play with us, and we can resist about the time. So you can see Metaverse are very different, and two different market and two different system gameplay. If you create a Metaverse, you're not doing like a game where you have a beginning and the end, because there is no end. So the people, they have to have a way to come back forever into it, and they are making the game. But you need to have rules so that people are not bored inside. And these rules are what is the most important, what makes the Metaverse interesting. And in Meta Island, for example, each island, 1,000 people have a life, and the life go down, and the participation of the player is what make the life go up. So you have to participate. The more you participate, the more the island is profitable, and the more the island is profitable, the best it's ranking against the other island, and then the most people come, and then it's like a loop. Then you can fill your island, and you make a lot of money. That's the way we are doing it.
Very interesting.
And the way we are doing is we don't want to be centralized, but we have to centralize the economy some way, because we have to control it. But the fact we are only 1,000 players by island, that means nobody can control everything. You can control one island, but you cannot control the whole thing. So we are kind of decentralized.
Amazing. That's a very interesting interplay between the Metaverse and the GameFi there. And I understand you already answered some of, my next question is actually addressed to how or what are the possible features of these two virtual worlds. I know you've answered some of these already in your previous statement, but is there anything that you would like to add, thinking about the differences and the similarities between these two virtual worlds? I think they're both persistent, and people have a sense of ownership. They're not just players who will be, companies just take money away from them, but they also earn, and as they play, and there's an entire economy, and there's an entire system there wherein you can be with people, you can socialize, you can play games, you can master a skill, and become actually someone who you wouldn't even think you would be. So it's self-discovery at the same time while you play games with other people. So is there anything else that you would like to add, the futures of these two worlds that you are seeing maybe in the next 5 or 10 years?
Well, both these technologies are disruptive. They offer a new entertainment product that is superior to what is existing. Even if the market with all the problems, it's normal. When something is new, there are a lot of abuse, and we need to wait that all of that calm down. And like the internet, this is going to change the way we are using our money and the way we are playing, and also it's going to change the television, because I think today the life sucks. let's be honest. Most of people have suffered a lot from the COVID, and they still suffer. There is war in Europe, and basically you're people are very depressed. You can see how many people are taking medicine. It's huge. So I think these metaverse are necessary because you cannot change the reality. You can vote for anybody, nothing changes. But we can create virtual places that are so real, so visually, and so. For example, in Meta Island, we have the weather, we have the day and night, we have animals, and you can talk with the people. It looks real, you know. You want to dive into the island, and you don't have to take the plane. You just press a button, and you. So in Meta Island, for example, I don't want people connect with the reality. For me, it's something that's separate from the reality. It protects you from the reality. I'm not going to put the news into Meta Island. It's not like Facebook where you're going to have all the news. So I think these metaverses are going to be an escape to the reality. And GameFi is going to be something better than gaming, but it's not going to be that disruptive. It's going to be disruptive for the game industry. It may smash all the company we know, and they may go bankrupt in 10 years because the players are going to move to GameFi. If they cannot adapt, they will go bankrupt. About the metaverse, this is Google, Microsoft, and all these companies, they try they try to make metaverse, but they have, I think, the wrong way. They dig in the wrong because they still want to control the players, and they still want to have something that is a monolithic system that control everything. And I think people, they want to escape that. So that's why I think Meta Island should take a chunk of this market just because it will be so different and based on crypto as well. It has to be crypto into it. So I think both are disruptive, and in 20, 30 years, it's going to be natural for our kids to go into a metaverse after school or after work. It's going to be just
be the normal.
something normal.
It will be the normal. I remember like back in the 80s and 90s when we were still kids, we are always getting screamed at for playing video games, especially for me as a girl. That was really very challenging, but the world has been changing now. So like it's a very big disruptive tech, both of them rising in tandem. What are the challenges that you are facing currently in game development in the Web3 space?
The challenge is the concept itself. It's how you can create something, a place where people, they entertain themselves, they have fun, and you're not telling them what to do. you have to give the tool. There is some kind of freedom. Like for example, you take 1,000 people, you put them in a place, and you let them do something. What they are going to do exactly. And also another challenging part is that nothing exists already. You can refer to. So we have to create something from zero. So we are always asking ourselves the question: Is it a good idea? Are we going in the right way? So I think we will have to adapt.
Yes, it's so new.
We cannot say, okay, we're going to copy this concept, and it's funny how to look at, for example, Meta, with all the money they have, they lost a 3.8 billion, I think, doing something that it didn't work. So I don't think these companies, they are going to come with something. I think we can be the challenger, or someone from crypto, a small company. We can bring something. It's about the concept itself. It's not about the money you have.
We can be the game changer here. So yes, thank you so much, Nico. You said so many things, and you've definitely demystified a lot of stuff today. But the last question for the day, I still have one last question. For those people who would like to join into this field, work into this field, what advice can you give to them? What should they do? What training do they need? And what guidance do they require?
Well, first, if you never made a game, that's difficult. It's like if you want to climb the Everest and you say, okay, I'm going to do it. You have to try to do it. And when you did it one time, then you have the experience.
Okay.
Because it's a lot more complicated than it seems. You need to have a senior with you who can manage the team. And I think it's not a good idea to subcontract everything. You need to own the technology. So it's complicated. But I think you need to. It's like climbing a mountain, but you don't see the top of the mountain. You just see the next step. You say, okay, we're gonna do that, then we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, and then you make a beautiful demo, and you show your demo, your concept to investors, and you raise some money. As soon as you have some money and you have a clear vision of where you want to go, then people are gonna follow you. And even if you never made a game, you just do it step by step. You don't see the difficulty. You just advance like this. And at one point, you will be at the final, at the final step. You feel, okay, I did it. But it's very hard. It's very challenging. And you cannot reuse what you did before. So you always have to do something from scratch, because the technology is moving so fast. You cannot reuse what you did before. So it's you take a risk. It's like jumping from a window and say, okay, I'm gonna find something.
It's a leap of faith,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for answering all our questions. We from Disruptive Focus, we are very, very proud to host you today. Thank you so much for your time, sharing your insights. And to everyone who is watching us live, thank you so much and have a great day ahead. Bye, Nico.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks.